Hi, I'm Ashley Saunders, and well, welcome to our first Birding Insights vlog. The plan is to post a few videos through the year of tips, what to look for, when, how. So welcome to the first instalment. It's 10th Jan, bit chilly, you see I'm wrapped up well. And to be honest, no better place really to start with our first vlog of the year than my patch, which is Wells Woods. I don't really normally come here this time of the year. It's normally an autumn spot, as you probably know, for looking for yellow-browed warblers and olive-back pipits and things like that. But we've had a redpoll flock here for a few weeks. I've actually come to look for that and failed miserably, but I have instead jammed in on a nice flock of geese. I'll show you some footage from those in a minute. But yeah, I'm in the dell. Some of you will recognise it. Let's have a quick look round. Me and a muntjac, all that's here at the minute. And yeah, it's pretty quiet. Birches are dead. Not a lot of seed left on the trees. Not sure where the redpolls have gone today, but they're certainly not here anyway. Really should be working in the office, of course. We're sort of well into planning at the moment for all our trips for 2019, but you just can't resist popping out just for an hour. So yeah, as I say, just jammed in on a nice flock of geese, so I'm going to show you some bean geese, which are really cool. And yeah, anyway, keep tuned in, and we'll hopefully post a few more vlogs through the year if we don't get bored of doing it halfway through. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. So this is a lovely rare chance to actually watch the pink feet bathing and drinking, and we so often spend a lot of time watching them feeding out in the beet fields, and it's actually a pretty rare opportunity to watch them on the freshwater here at Qualls Marsh. I'm just on the edge of Wells Woods, just sort of southwest of the area called the Dell. There's an excellent bit of habitat here, these new freshwater pools created by the Holcombe Estate, and I'm just really lucky because this big flock of pinks has just dropped in. They've come off probably the beet fields up near Whiten. I just see them coming in over the trees, and thankfully they've just dropped in right in front of me. And a lovely young Rossicus Tundra bean goose right at the front of the flock. And when you're looking through these geese, you maybe think you're looking for orange legs, orange on the bill, but actually this one's just stood out just because of how dark its back is compared to everything else. You can see it in the middle there, just on the left hand side of the two birds at the front, the three birds at the front there, and just drinking now. And actually, as you scan through the flock, it wasn't the legs that stood out, it's the dark brown back. And you can see it's got those white tips on the coverts. It helps age it as a young bird. And now you can see its orange legs. It's having a bit of a walk around. But yeah, actually my tactic when I'm trying to find beans... Oh, there's a second one. There's a second one just walked in from the left. Oh, brilliant. But yeah, you can see how lovely dark chocolatey brown they are on the back. They don't have that bluey grey sheen of the pinks. And for me, that's what I always look for when I'm scanning through the flock, rather than concentrating on bill and leg colour, because that can be really hard, especially at a distance. Often just sort of scanning through, the pinks have always got that lovely sort of bluey grey sheen on the mantle and on the greater coverts, and the beans are uniform dark chocolatey brown with sort of buffy on these young birds, of buffy fringes on the scapulas and coverts. Really nice. You can see these typical Rossicus or Tundra beans have got these really deep base bill as well, really black, very deep base to it, and the orange is just a narrow band that sits forward of the nostril, normally just like a little narrow vertical band. So really nice views. And then maybe a third one to the right. I'm just going to pan the scope while we're looking. Is that another one? And there's another one. Wow, so we've got three now. You see that one just on the right hand side of the centre of the picture. Cracking. So it's, where are we today? 10th of Jan. Next big full moon, probably a lot of these birds are going to head off. So it's last chance really of the winter to have a good look through these goose flocks. And I have got a little bit jammy this morning, and it's on my patch as well. And I think Tundra bean goose might be a patch tick. With this new wetland creation that they've done here at Holcombe on this piece called Qualls, it has definitely boosted my Wells list. Added a few waders and things. So I think this might be the first ever Tundra beans for my Wells Woods list, so I'm quite happy about that. And it's a nice way to sign off my winter goosing season. Off to Costa Rica tomorrow, so this is probably the last goose watching I'll get to do. I've just picked the three Tundras up again, having a bit of a wash and brush up. One of them's really interesting actually because it's got a really orange bill, kind of basically got a taiga type bill pattern. It's clearly a Tundra bee, and it's exactly the same structure as the other two birds it's with, and really deep based and pretty short bill, and it's also got short thick neck. But it's the bird at the front that's just preening at the moment. And you'll see when it looks around there, you can see it's got almost an entirely orange upper mandible, so much more of a, well, basically a taiga type bill pattern. But you can see from the structure of it, compare it with the pink feet walking in the back there, it's got a short thick neck, it's got a big old angular head and a really deep base to the bill, which is all typical Rossicus. But it just goes to show that they're not all straightforward in terms of the bill pattern, and they do vary a lot. So it's interesting. Just walking off to the right now. Bit of a roll this afternoon. I've just stopped by the pitch and putt at Wells, had a quick look through these Brents. I actually looked through them on the way down here and there was nothing with them. And the first bird I've clapped eyes on is this absolutely stonking adult black Brent. I saw it through the bins. I was like, wow, that is not one of the hybrids that's been knocking around for the last couple of years. This is really smart looking thing. And I'm sort of doubled up inside the back of the van with a scope on the tripod, watching the bird. And what a cracker. Look at it right in the middle there. Look how dark it is on the back and the belly, with the lovely chocolatey tones on its mantle. But just look at the white flank flash on it. It's absolutely stunning. The white on the flanks is the same colour as his undertail. It's absolutely superb. It's got a massive collar. Has got a little bit of a chunk out of the upper edge of the collar when it's face on. And I'm just going to get a car going across the view. But it's got a huge collar, joined along the bottom edge. As I say, it's got a little bit of a chunk out on the top edge, but still looks fine. But yeah, it's right in the middle of the shot. It's definitely not one of the regular. Look, there's the collar. Nice shot there. Yeah, the sort of regular hybrids that we often see. There's two over at Holcombe at the moment, and they often the flank flash is never as striking, and it's often got this sort of browny grey wash across it. It makes it a bit more sullied, but this is just so white on the flanks. Also on the hybrids, the back tends to lack these lovely chocolatey or tobacco-y brown tones, and they tend to have a little bit of a telltale greyish kind of wash. If you look at all the dark belly Brents around it, you can see they've all got a grey wash on the back. With this thing, it's just solid dark. Not too much of a contrast between the what we call that black neck sock and its back and belly, but it's a really smart bird. I've not seen one on here for years. It's been bumping into the hybrids really, so it's a bit of a shock. So yeah, another nice little distraction. So yeah, it's been a good afternoon's goosing. Good way to sign off the winter. Just showing you how unglamorous this goosing is that I'm doing at the moment. I'm sort of crouched in the back of the van with a scope set up, and actually this is where the van makes pretty good mobile hide really. As I've just driven along the beach road at Wells and found these Brents, and I was thinking, how on earth am I going to watch them without putting them all up? So I managed to climb into the back of the van and fish the scope out the boot, and here's my little setup, and looking out onto the pitch and putt course. So yeah, it's actually quite cosy in here really. Keeps the wind off, and it's a good place to be able to get the scope set up and actually have a look through the birds without flushing them all. So yeah, and now I really must go and do some work. This is getting silly now, so I'm gonna say see you later.